Palma. Oh,
Oh, man.
that's unfair, Renz Palma. 7 points in the game.
Janelle Fuentes.
Oh, wow.
Colorado makes the shot and knocks it down. Malonia is open. 3-point.
Oh, my goodness.
Face a jumper by Robin Senes. Nathanielo has time. He just posterized by
TGIF, thank God it's Friday, the second to the last game day of the week. We have another triple header prepared for you dito sa Marikina Pilipinas Basketball League, ang liga ng bawat Pilipino. And for our first game, we are here at the PhilOil Center in San Juan. Again, triple header for us. In our first game, we have All-Star Samboy De Leon going up against Jetro Escoto sa ating unang laro. It's the Marikina Shoemasters going up against the Rizal Centro Mall Golden Coolers. Later on, we have the Jensen Warriors facing the Batangas City Environ Masters in an important tussle, while the San Juan Knights will defend their home floor in our main game at 8 o'clock p.m. against the Binyan Tatanggel. Magandang hapon niya sa inyo lahat mga kaliga. This is Javi Palanya joined by Coach Mike Perez. Coach Mike, happy to be working with you again. It's been a while. And for our first game, Coach, what does it take for Marikina, although they are in the bottom of our team standings, what will it take for them to play spoilers to a Rizal squad that is trying to actually have home court advantage in their division?
Well, it has to be collective effort. I mean, the Rizal team is pretty much a tough team to go up against, so it's gonna take everyone from Marikina to try and beat and be spoilers for this game para sa kanila.
We also have Mika Abisamis at courtside. We'll be hearing from her later on. Mapapanood nyo ang Liga ng Bawat Pilipino on our YouTube channel, pati na rin on Puso P and Smart Sports. Alright, let's take a look at what happened yesterday sa ating games in the Pasay Astrodome. We had some exciting games yesterday, particularly the second game, Coach.
Oh, grabe yung sa second game na yon. Everybody thought that Cebu was gonna go for their 7th straight win, but Zamboanga had other plans. Nag-falter lang talaga yung Cebu in that game, and the Voyagers also defeated the Bacolod Tubo Slashers, also their own 7-game win streak.
Kaya naman, pasok tayo agad sa ating mga team standings, beginning with the Northern Division to see what happened due to what happened yesterday sa Pasay Astrodome.
Yeah, magandang pagkakataon ito kasi if you look at the top 3 teams right now and you see at number 3 itong San Juan Knights, very important positioning para dito sa tatlong teams na to, especially 4, 5, 6, and 7. Pasay has moved up to number 6 past Pangasinan, and the hope really is to try and get maybe at least number 5 or number 6, because in the interview yesterday with Pasay, sabi nila mas prefer nila at least nasa number 5 or 6 sila.
Well, yeah, that's an important position, especially because you are there with the Pampanga Giant Lanterns, who are also tussling for position. Siyempre, yung San Juan Knights nandyan pa rin sa taas. They will be facing off against Binyan later. Dito sa South, Coach, medyo mas dikit dito compared to the North.
Yeah, especially today's game. You see 3, 4, 5, and 6, Batangas, Jensen, Rizal, and Binyan. Those teams are actually battling it out, trying to get to the number 4 spot. And the thing is, para dito sa Rizal, napakahalaga nitong game na ito because this will give them a chance to most probably get even to number 2. Because they have the most games remaining. They have 7 left. And so to get as many wins as they can, possibly makarating sila sa number 2.
And one guy who will try to get them as many wins as they can is Alwin Alday Alday. Alwin Alday has been finally lights out for them once again in their last game against the Pasay Voyagers. Kaya lang, natalo sila dito in a very heartbreaking fashion, Coach. This was a loss in double overtime on their home floor.
Yeah, the thing about that game was that it was a game high 18 points on a 6 of 9 na shooting para ito ka Alwin Alday, including that 3 of 5 from downtown. Sinamahan pa niya ang 3 rebounds at 4 na assists, surpassing yung kanyang season average so far. Yung 14 of his 18 have really come in the second half, and I talked to him earlier. I said, are you now happy with the volume shots that you are getting? He says yes, and hopefully it starts something really good for Alwin all day.
Well, on the other hand, Marikina naman, although they have lost 5 straight games, they have gotten some, some positive things from their team, including Jacob Ubaldo and Jay Utok. These two guys have been holding the fort in their front court despite being undermanned in those positions.
Oh, totoo yan. 25 total points that you get out of Jacob and Jay. I like how Jay actually plays specifically. Ang ganda ng nagiging contribution niya para dito sa dalawang players na ito. And now you see right there Jethro and Deo, no, both 26 points total combined. Ang maganda dito yung 7 assists na na-contribute rin ni Jethro Escoto really proves that he is one of the key point guards para dito sa Marikina.
Jethro Escoto and Deo Timajo have been their leading scorers so far, and Jethro Escoto has really risen to be a very tough point guard here in the league. So it will take another good game galing sa kanya to try and get Marikina an upset here today against the Rizal Golden Coolers, who are hungry to bounce back from their loss against Pasay sa kanilang huling laro. Alright, let's go to our Coliseum marker for the start of this ballgame.
Magandang hapon mga kaliga, and it's great to see you again here inside the Playtime Field Center in San Juan City. Welcome to the 2025 Manny Pacquiao MPBL Season 7. Our first match is between Rizal and Marikina. Let's meet the starters. First, for Rizal Centro Mall Golden Coolers. Starting at guard, number 1, Philip Manalang. Also at guard, number 17, Alvin Alday. Starting at center, number 3, Mike Cañete. Forward number 28, Marco Balagtas. And the other forward, number 6, Enil Chaiser Tolentino. The head coach for Rizal is Ralph Rivera. Assistant coaches, Don Villamin, Christian Coronel, and Mario Gotera. Team manager, Joel Conde. Team governors, Andre Cruz. Team owners, Jaime Lim and Alex Cruz. Here comes the starting 5 for Marikina Shoemasters. Starting at guard, number 77, Jethro Escoto. Also at guard, number 8, Deo Timajo. Playing center, number 4, Carl Peñano. Forward, number 34, Jacob Ubaldo. And the other forward, number 2, Ace Chamzon. The Marikina Shoemasters is led by Angelo Nebres. Assistant coaches, Joseph Ochada, John Paul Basilan, Fernando Bunyag, and Ray Mendoza. Assistant team managers, AJC and Monroe Quezon. Team manager is Dr. Rianji Pioquinto. Reference Sports Ballgame.
Our starting 5 brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. The Marikina Shoemasters begin things with Jethro Escoto, Deo Timajo, Carl Peñano, Jacob Ubaldo, and Ace Tiamzon. Sa kabilang panig naman, Rizal will be starting with Philip Manalang, Alvin Alday, Mike Cañete, Marco Balagtas, and the electric Neil Tolentino. Welcome once again to our coverage for our Friday triple header here at the Phil Oil Center in San Juan City. Abby Palanya on the call, joined by Coach Mike Perez and Miss Mika Abisamis. This is Rizal versus Marikina. Our referees for this ball game, Crew Chief Alan Manzano. Umpire 1, Leonardo Leosa. Ron Baluyot is umpire 2, and the substitute referee is Elaine Sobere. Marikina gets the opening tip. Ubaldo, as we talked about in our pregame coverage, the sterling output for the Shoemasters in their game against Batangas. So did that guy, Deo Timajo.
Deo Timajo has been one of the really good perimeter scorers para dito sa Marikina. He's roughly averaging about 52% field goal makes. Kaya naman kita mo yung kumpiyansa ng pagkaka-attempt niya on the very first possession para dito sa Marikina.
Alday from the corner, bumitaw, and that's a 3 from All-Day Alday.
Like what I said, I talked to him before as they were doing the warm-ups. Are you happy with the volume shots that you're getting? He says yes, and I want to get more. And hopefully, yung percentage na nakita natin sa previous game nila na 75% shooting, magpatuloy sa mga iba pa nilang games.
And did the All-Star snub actually become a motivation for him, Coach? I think it did, no?
Yeah, I think yes. You know, every time, kahit naman sino siguro na, you did your best for the, and you didn't get that slot in the All-Star, that is definitely going to be added motivation for Alvin Alday. And not to mention, yung pagkakataon na manalo sila ng sunod-sunod na games dito sa 7 remaining games nila.
Mike Cañete at the line for 2 shots. But to Rizal's consolation, they do have 2 representatives to the All-Star game this year, which will be happening at the Olonte Sports Arena on September 6 in Binyan. And that is Eric Camson, who will be starting for the South, and Samboy De Leon.
Yeah. And it's also tough right now if you're a wing or a guard to get to the All-Star kasi ang daming gwardiya. Sobrang dami na, there's only so many slots that's available for that All-Star team.
Yeah, from a league that has primarily been dominated by bigs, especially at the start of the season. Also, during the last couple of years when Baltazar was playing for the Pampanga Giant Lanterns, it has slowly been transitioning back into a guards league.
And it's a shift, in my opinion, everybody welcomes, especially mga wing and guards. And it's also good for the fans because you see some of your favorite guard players, really ramping up their performance and showing a lot of good stuff.
Yan naman rin talaga ang treasure nating mga Pinoy, no? Yung mga guardia at saka yung mga wing players natin. That is where we are basically known for in the world of basketball. But it's also nice to see that we have been developing bigs over the years as we see Alday getting his second basket of the game. Rizal up early here by 4, 6-2.
And ramdam mo yung kumpiyansa ni Alwin Alday, just getting into the lane and challenging, the defense right in front of him.
Timaho, that's his spot. A warm-up jumper there, but he misses. That's out of bounds in favor of the Golden Coolers.
Ganda rin ang motor ng jump shot nito ni Deo Timao. He's one of the guys na, very level-headed and understands positioning in the game.
But if you talk about level-headed, this guy is definitely up there in terms of that. Alwin Alday, one of the most humble and nicest guys you'll ever meet, although Rizal will commit the violation there.
I totally agree. Etong si Alwin Alday, bukod sa napaka-humble na tao, pagdating sa court, may kasamang angas talaga yan. Dahil, that confidence that comes out of him is really coming from yung preparation na ginagawa niya sa bawat practice, sa lahat ng moves na gagamitin niya.
Yeah, if there's a contest on who loves basketball the most here in this league, Alwin Alday will also be one of the front runners in that. Walang kapaguran maglaro yan.
Oh, without a doubt.
Mike Cañete committing another violation there. This time it's a walk laban sa Rizal. So some early turnovers here for the Golden Coolers. Let's take a look at this 3-point shot brought to you by Extreme One-Stop Shop Appliances. This is courtesy of Jetro Escoto for Marikina.
I do go back to the days from last year when we had Jetro Escoto paired with Eric Pili. And today, Eric is gonna go up against his former team. And tinanong ko kanina si Jetro kung anong gagawin niya. Sabi niya, tingnan na lang natin sa laro kung paano gagawin ni Eric. Pero he has very high respects for his former teammate in Eric Pili.
Jacob Ubaldo, 13 points in their last game, scoring inside, giving Marikina the lead, 7-6. These two teams are practically beside each other, itong Marikina at saka Rizal. Neil Tolentino scoring on the reverse. Prior to Rizal going up another level in terms of their team composition, meron ring some sort of small rivalry itong dalawang koponan na to dahil nga magkatabi lang sila. Let's take a look at this assist of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
And that definitely, as you saw that move by Neil Tolentino. You see Carl with the basket on the other end. Gusto mo yung activity na meron itong si Neil Tolentino on the offensive end. Kasi depensa, wala ka nang hihingin dyan. Talagang bibigyan ka ng effort niyan. But the points that you're getting out of him offensively, those are bonuses that would really spell well para dito sa Rizal.
Always lovely to see players adding to their game. And we are very thankful to be witnesses to that. Front row seats to the development into far greater players para sa ating manlalaro.
Absolutely. Yung mga ina-unlock yung ibang dimension ng nila, no? Ng skill set and yung game facet. You just love to see that improvement in players.
Peñano having some trouble inside but still able to find a way, finishing with that baby hook.
I don't know where Marikina would be without Carl Peñano. Napaka-solid nito. He's undersized for that position. But man, he practically is taking care of that shaded area para dito sa Marikina. Good kick.
And there you see the interior defense, but Marikina allows that 3-point shot by Alwin Alday. That's his second of the game. He ties things up at 11.
He's got 8, and he's 3 out of 3, has not missed from the field. Alwin Alday.
And you could see that look on his face early on, Coach. You know that he is locked in.
Oo. Gusto no? Talagang nandun yung gigil
Escoto fakes the handoff to Tiamzon. Bounce pass to Carl Peñano. Sees Escoto driving the lefty, misses with the right. Another lefty, Jacob Ubaldo, skying high for that offensive rebound and drawing the foul in the process against Rizal.
Somebody forgot to locate Ubaldo that time. Meantime, ito yung kick para kay Alwin Alday, and he definitely has got this laser-focused vision on that rim for his 3rd straight make.
Alwin Alday shooting 31% from 3-point country this season. Kung sasabihin mo pa nga, medyo mababa pa yan para sa kanya.
Agree. Medyo mababa pa nga yan. Nagkaroon rin kasi ng instance na, well, Sadelf and I were talking about it, I think early the season, what's the problem with Rizal? Kasi nagkaroon ng, na parang sunod-sunod rin yung nila, no? Yung mga talo nila. And I said, I think it's Alwin Alday because of the dip on his shooting percentage, especially from 3. I mean, Eric Camson has been magnificent in the paint in that stretch, and you got to get back Alwin Alday in the mode.
And obviously, Coach, them adding pieces, it's always going to be an adjustment period, for any team. It's not always going to click right away. And this guy is one of the new pieces that Rizal added. Ito naman si Philip, dumating during the trade and free agency window, coming on over from Ilagan, traded for Jerry Pingoy. And Philip, Coach, how would you assess his stint so far with Rizal?
I think he's fit in very well para dito sa Rizal.
We'd like to thank LGR, the official outfitter of the Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. And actually, nung first few games ni Philip at saka ni Coco Pingoy, doon sa kanilang mga bagong kupunan, many people would actually say, and I would agree with it, na medyo win-win pa nga yung naging trade. Although, recently, Coco Pingoy has not seen a lot of action for the Cowboys, while Manalang has maintained his starter status with his new squad.
Yeah, pretty much. It's been, I guess, a more seamless integration for Philip Manalang because I think the type of player he is really fits para dito sa Rizal. Coco Pingoy has other guards to compete with in terms of playing time. See that drive right there by Alwin Alday. He didn't have enough space, but he wanted to go for that finish.
He really did not have enough space. Still finding a way, just like he always does. Ito si Alwin Alday. There you see his numbers this season. 11.6 points per game. Only a 69.6% free throw shooter. That has also dipped. Alwin usually shoots in the 80%, 85-90 range.
That's right.
From the charity stripe.
That is right. And I feel that stretch where he really, in my opinion, maybe for the lack of a better term, struggled and that stretch midway. Siguro yun na naka-apekto ng kanyang yung percentage. But as of today, he's still the 3rd leading scorer para dito sa Rizal with almost like 13 per game. Second is parang si Mike Cañete who's got 13 point something. No, correct that. Alwin Alday has 11 per game.
13 to 11, lamang ng dalawa ang Golden Coolers. That is an offensive foul against Steven Cudal, warding off Michael Cañete.
And every time you get Steven Cudal inside the floor, you always have to understand that physicality is going to, level up. Kasi that's really just how he plays. He plays a lot in the paint, and he tries to battle for position. Kaya lang doon, medyo excessive yung niya talaga.
He literally put Michael Cañete out of the picture there.
Pretty much.
Under 4 minutes to play here in the first quarter. Tolentino trying to look for an opening. Drops it off to Alday. Baseline.
Nice
back to
fake.
Tolentino. Gets a number of blue shirts up in the air. And ito na yung mga sinasabi mong mga bonus points na galing kay Neil Tolentino, Coach.
At saka overall, yung Rizal, ang ganda ng pasahan. I love, there's a ping to their passes. They're very crisp. terms of passing. No hesitation. Guys have very sharp cuts, and so they get very sharp passes.
Timaho has not been able to score after that first jumper earlier in this period. Manalang making the move inside, kicks it out. Tolentino will try his luck from downtown, and he swishes it through. Neil Tolentino extends the Rizal lead to 7.
Oh my! Neil Tolentino is having a ball game right now. He's 2 out of 3 from the field. My
5
goodness.
quick ones para kay Neil Tolentino.
We see you, Neil.
Does Marikina have an answer? Enrile gets it to Timaho. Tolentino is on him. 6 on the shot clock. That's stolen by Balagtas. Manalang leaves it. No, he goes inside. Cañete with a baby hook. Rizal currently on a blistering run here as we wind down the first quarter. Check out our play of the game, brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. A series of baskets for Rizal, coach.
Yeah, very crucial run para dito sa Rizal. Enough for them to stay with this 9-point lead, 20-11.
Back in San Juan for your Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. My name is Mika Abisamis. Whenever we talk about teams with unfortunate situations getting into the playoffs, my question really here is, how do they still get their feet to work? How are they still productive? Listen to this list. Rizal, Pasig, Ilagan, Pasay, Basilan, and San Juan. Hindi biro ang listahan na to, no, as the last remaining games of Marikina. But for Coach Angelo Nebres, this is the perfect time for the players to show what they've got as a team. Lalo na, Coach Elvis will be in the venue later as they have a game. But more individually, if they want to be showing their talents individually. If we want to be straight up, this is the best time to test their characters for their future. Remember, this is the team that showcased Ato Alar, Ives Sazon, Enzo Hoson, Marvin Junicio, Jason Opiso, Kyle Tolentino, at ang gustong magpakitang gilas ngayong araw na to na pinag-usapan nyo nga kanina na si Eric Pili. He will never forget that win against Bataan last season in a Marikina jersey in our historic first game day in Abra. Have you, Coach Mike?
Maraming salamat, Mika. Sterling first report galing sa ating courtside reporter na si Mika Abisamis. And Mika is right, you know, this team has always been a venue for the young guns, especially those who were virtually unknown, to actually make a name for themselves and possibly seek greener pastures, as we see this offensive foul committed by Robby Naive.
A little show of the elbow right there, but to your point on that discussion, tama naman, ano? Ang ganda rin kasi ng mga na-develop na mga players na nanggaling dito sa Marikina, and I do love that report by Mika which alluded to yung game in Abra, the very first game. We were there, and man, Eric Pili was shooting the lights out of Abra in that game. Talagang ang ganda ng mga tinitira nila doon from the outside. Him and Jetro.
And as if on cue, Pili forces the turnover on his former squad, the Marikina Shoemasters. But Marikina also forces a stop on their end. They're down by 9 points here. A minute and change remaining in our opening frame.
And this is a good test for Eric, in my opinion, because he's been, teammates with these guys, and I'd like to think they know his tendencies and preferences, offense and defense, and so it would be a good test on how he adjusts against a team that understands how he plays.
Meanwhile, one of the longest tenured Shoemasters, R.R. Casajeros, draws a foul on the three-point shot. Laban dito kay Robby Naive. So that's 2 quick fouls for the former CSB Blazer here in the first quarter.
That was a very close contest. He tried to go vertical, but he hit the shooting arm of Casajeros.
Casajeros has been only averaging 5.4 points per game this season. Usually a double-digit scorer during the previous seasons, but has taken on more of a leadership role for Marikina this year, especially because, as I mentioned, he is one of the longest tenured Marikina Shoemasters on this team.
Isang magandang pagkakataon na ito para sa kanila to, given na mabigat pa yung mga remaining games nila, Oh, Eric Pili just showing off right now.
His first basket of the game. Got that monkey off his back, and I'm sure the confidence will only be boosted right now para kay Eric Pili. Jomel Landayan going to the corner. That's a shot from the perimeter. Mel Mabigat missing. Rebound taken by Rizal. Naive shuffling his feet. Got away with a walk there possibly.
Yes. I feel he did.
10 seconds on the clock. Last shot time here for the guys in white. Caballero kicks it out. Robbie for three. That one is short. Ball is tapped. Pili has it. Fade away jumper. Pili couldn't get it to go. That could have been big. But nevertheless, that marks the end of quarter number 1 between two neighboring teams in the MPBL, the Marikina Shoemasters and the Rizal Golden Coolers. Maganda naging palitan natin sa umpisa, especially with the likes of Alwin Alday, nangunguna para sa Rizal.
9 assists coming out of 80% shooting. That really just tells you the value of finding the least guarded guy on the floor to trust him to make that shot. 80%, that's pretty high. They're 8 out of 10, speaking of Rizal.
Even Neil Tolentino having an incredible start here for Rizal,
yes.
helping them to this 11-point lead, 23-12. Check out our special deal from 1xBet when you scan the QR code and claim your special offer. Welcome back to the Philoil Center in San Juan City. This is Happy Palanya, joined by Coach Mike Perez and Miss Mika Abisamis. This was the heartbreaker that the Rizal Golden Coolers experienced at the hands of the Pasay Voyagers in double overtime on their home floor in Montalban.
Yeah, 12 ties, 21 lead changes, no team leading by more than 7 points. Rizal really just squandered several chances to secure the victory, leading up to that, a stinging loss in double overtime. Because 96-89, they were actually outscored when it comes to points in the paint, second chance opportunities, and fast break points. Double-digit deficiencies in that department. They did shoot the ball very well at 42%, but at the end of the day, it's all about those 50-50 loose balls and the extra effort that you give to your team leading up to the win.
And Coach, might I add, the missed free throws.
Oh yeah,
there were a bunch of missed free throws in that game. Actually, for both teams, Pasay and Rizal, but it did hurt yung mga consecutive string of free throws that Eric Campson missed in the end game.
Agreed. It was the timing of those misses that actually told on the extension of that game past regulation. They were 14 of 29. You missed 15 free throws. That's pretty huge.
Ang masakit pa doon, Coach, yung mga free throws na itinira ni Eric, those were practically the only free throws he shot in that game.
Exactly.
And to make things worse, he got thrown out of that game. That's why he is suspended for this matchup against Marikina. There's a little stoppage in the action. Di pa tayo nag-uumpisa dito ng ating second quarter. Referee Alan Manzano talking to the Marikina bench on the left side. It's going to be Rizal basketball to begin the second quarter here. Mamaya malalaman natin kung ano yung nangyari.
And Avi staying with that conversation on the missed free throws in that game of Rizal. If you look at the last 6 to 7 games of Rizal, they actually have not shot the ball well from the line. It's almost just 55 to 60% shooting, and that is not acceptable. If you look at their misses, at least 10 missed free throws and crucial to certain games, especially for Rizal, who is, in my opinion, would be vying for a good run, deep playoff run this season.
Tiamzon scores the opening bucket for Marikina. In going back to that conversation, Coach, Rizal, although they are one of the top defensive teams here in the league, still, Coach, you have to find a balance between playing good defense and actually shooting the basketball well.
I totally agree. Tsaka matter of scoring, I don't think that's a big question that you ask the Rizal team, because they pretty much have really good scorers, but making free throws and defending, I think those two items would be key and vital, especially if they want to make a deep playoff run.
Oh, Jomel Landayan making a quick getaway there. Jeric Serrano had late help. Had no other recourse but the foul. The bit diminutive Jomel Landayan.
That's one thing that I've always admired about Jomel Landayan. He's just a speedster. Good combination of enough height at that position and ganda ng mobility and pace, even the change in direction.
This free throw of the game is brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. Coach, you've had your share of small guards to watch over the years that you've been watching this game. Who do you think Jomel Landayan reminds you of?
There's one player here in the MPBL, I think J.R. Chavez. Because when J.R. Chavez was a young bowler, I see some of that in Landayan. Exactly how he plays. Not afraid of the moment, not afraid of anyone, just keeps on running around and change of pace and a lot of speed. And that's what I see in Jomel Landayan. Another three right there for Rizal.
That's coming from Robbie Naive this time. He had 2 fouls earlier in the first quarter, but Coach Ralph Rivera still putting a lot of trust in him to stay in the game. At sinuplaya naman agad yan ni Robbie.
But one thing I'm sure that Coach Ralph is going to talk to the guys, especially later on when they head into the halftime break. Their free throws. Right now they're shooting 64% overall from the field, 71% from 3. That's pretty high. But when you swing over to the free throws, that's 50%. You've missed half of the 6 attempts that you've had on the line. And to me, considering who you're going up against, that is not even acceptable, especially early here in the first half.
Currently, Rizal is in a good place to try and get home court advantage in the Southern Division. They're currently number 5 right now in that division, but they do want that home court advantage. They do want to play with that in the postseason, but this doesn't really matter if you miss a lot of your free throws in a playoff series. It is imperative you make the most of your opportunities whenever you get the chance to score.
Agree. Tsaka magandang motivation rin is one, you have the most number of games remaining at 7. As you see a 3 connected right there. And then you've got a good shot at number 2 actually. I feel for the North, the magic number to get to number 2 is roughly about 26, 25 wins. And right now they are positioned in a way na pwede silang makahabol dyan. O sa South rather, na pwede silang makahabol dyan. Who knows? Zamboanga is at number 2 right now. Their 4 remaining games are pretty tough. And so if Zamboanga, I'm not saying that this is going to happen, should they get edged out in very close games against these 4 teams, they will be stuck at 17 wins, giving Rizal a good shot at number 2.
This is one of the best times of the season when the regular season actually winds down and the teams are fighting, jostling, wrestling for each other, against each other for these positions in their respective divisions. The intensity of the games, they turn up 5 notches higher.
Exactly. Exactly, Javi. Kasi may sense of urgency na no? Especially for teams who are trying to get to that home court advantage. And why not for Rizal? Ang ganda ng Inari Center. Bagong-bago. It's got really good support also from their home crowd. And why not?
Well, if they continue to play like this, they are in good position for that spot in the top 4 in the Southern Division. You see Rizal scoring once again. They've seen a lot of gaping holes in the defense of Marikina here in the second quarter.
And that's what they've been pretty good at, itong Rizal. And you clearly can see that as they are number 3 in second chance points, meaning they see cracks in that defense that they try to exploit.
And here was the thing that I was talking about, those cracks in the defense. That's our assist of the game, brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. Platoon substitution here for Coach Ralph Rivera, panibagong 5 para sa Rizal.
This is also a good time kasi Javi to test out the other guys. Get their feet wet in certain games, especially as they make a playoff run.
That's a shot inside para kay Rafael Go. Marikina within 10 points here, approaching the halfway point of quarter number 2. You have Labayan, Nitura, Estacio De Leon, and the other Cañete now on the floor for the Golden Coolers. They turn it over. Escoto pushing. Marikina does not have the numbers, but Timajo will take it inside anyway.
Well, I'm sure Coach Ralph will have something to discuss as well in terms of how they moved on that zone defense that last time around. Everybody was just hanging out in the perimeter. This was a better movement here, though.
Estacio stopped in his tracks. He's also playing against his former team today. Tiamzon gets the steal for Marikina.
Ganda ng IQ na pinakita doon ni Tiamzon. Understanding if it's a baseline drive, there has to be a baseline drift. That's going to be the pressure release. And he guarded and manned that passing lane, stole that ball, and it's Marikina ball.
Escoto di makabutas. 4 on the shot clock here for the Sioux Masters. Go has to take it. Still able to draw the foul with the shot clock winding down. That's going to be on Cañete. That's John Rodney Cañete. That's his first personal foul of the game. This fast break is brought to you by Extreme X Pop, personal karaoke speaker. Everyday karaoke.
A steal on one end and a finish by Deo Timajo the other way. Pretty much what you'd love to see if you're a Marikina. And right now, you're down only what? You're down 7. You're pretty much within striking distance. One might say maybe hindi pa full force itong Rizal, but then again, you still love the effort that's being shown by the Sioux Masters right now.
Oh, whatever is happening on the other side, Marikina just has to focus on themselves.
Agree.
Right now, they're down by 6 points in a good position to still continue this run. 4 minutes and 29 remaining in the first half. The 2025 MPBL All-Star Day will be on September 6. That is this Saturday. Gaganapin yan sa Alonte Sports Arena in Binyan sa Laguna. We're gonna have our 3-point shootout, our slam dunk contest, of course our All-Star Executive Game, and our main attraction, the All-Star Game between the North and the South All-Stars. Again, that's going to be this Saturday, September 6 at the Alonte Sports Arena. One of the participants, or two of the participants rather, were just featured on your screens right now. That was Kyle Tolentino and Samboy De Leon. They will be representing the South All-Stars.
And I feel that Kyle Tolentino earning that, he's a starter, right, for the
Yes.
South. Earning that start is pretty much, you know, a reflection of the work he's done in this regular season. He has, you know, alongside the other players of Gensan, have really shored up their performances, and, you know, rightfully so. Kyle's got to be there, the All-Star.
Yeah, Kyle has definitely shown drastic improvement in a time where his shot selection was being questioned, his decision-making was suspect. He just went to work, got back in the lab, and showed everybody that this season, those things are going to change.
Agree. And I think the really just the confidence in the preparation, the work that he's put into coming into this season, I don't know, really just coming into fruition. At saka gusto ko kay Kyle kasi he misses shots, but he forgets about it, and he just keeps on going at it. So long as it's within his range, and, you know, he's got that good look.
And to be able to play like that, you know, there's already immense pressure when you're playing for your dad.
Yes.
As your head coach.
Oh, yes.
And to be able to rise above that and still be one of the biggest threats for your team on the floor, that's definitely something.
To me, that's an advantage that you get, because
It's a blessing and a curse, coach.
oh yeah, could be that way, because I'm sure Coach Elvis would have some, hey, you could have done it this way. I like this, but you could have done it this way. But it's always good to have that basketball conversation in family. Kaya kami sa bahay, Maui, me, Riley, because we three guys really just love basketball. There are moments when we just talk about hoops. Especially when Riley starts doing it, man, it rarely ends.
Yeah, that's something I definitely miss at home. Inigo Netura knocking down a jumper there for Rizal to keep Marikina at bay, 37-29. Marikina got us close to 6 points. But Rizal has been responding with shots of their own. Under 3 minutes to play in the starting first half, there's another foul against Rizal. That's their 4th team foul. Carl Peñano will come back into the game for Rafael Go, who had some quality minutes off the bench for Marikina here in the first half.
Oh, yes, he did. Kung tutusin, ang ganda rin naman ng shooting clip ng Marikina. That's 55% from the field. Something that you kind of hope that they would start performing, especially against Rizal and one of their former teammates in Eric Pili.
And so if the field goal shooting has been quite above average here for Marikina, why has this lead been continued to maintain by Rizal?
A lot has to do with the help that they're getting off the bench. There's just better help that they're getting from the bench right now for Rizal. I mean, you talk about guys like who sank a shot earlier, Netura. You got 8 from Eric Pili. You got 3 from Robbie Naive. I mean, these guys really just help out in the scoring, not to be too dependent on the starters. Right now, the only guys that have scored for multiple shot attempts and more than 1 point is from the bench is really Rafael Go. He's got 7 off the bench for Marikina.
Edward Paul Labayan, one of the homegrown players for Rizal, given some burn here by Coach Ralph Rivera, along with some players at the end of the bench for the Golden Coolers. Able to share the floor with All-Star Samboy De Leon. De Leon has not been a factor yet in this game.
Yeah, he's pretty much been silent and taking the back seat.
Yeah, deferring to his other teammates, not trying to give them the chance to showcase their own talents. Well, this guy has definitely embraced the opportunity in trying to show the world how he can play.
Matter of fact, Samboy is so silent, that was actually just his first shot attempt in almost close to 4 minutes on the floor so far.
Total of 10 3-point shots between these two squads so far sa laro na to, 39-32. Marikina down by 7. Kiamzon, he has been one of the bright spots for the Sioux Masters in this game, along with that guy, Carl Peñano. 3 on the shot clock. Somebody has to take it. And once again, Marikina bailed out with a foul by Rizal.
Yan ang mga pag-uusapan ng Coach Ralph kasi hindi pa pwedeng ganyan yan. No? You play good defense, you gotta play the entire 24 if you gotta get a stop.
So they did not play good defense here, allowing Jetro Escoto that 3-point shot to be launched off of that pin down.
I say Jetro Escoto is also equally motivated to be going up against his former teammate in Eric Pili.
Ascom sa Tarmacantal, Security Chief Rudy Distrito, in the venue here at the Phil Oil Center in San Juan City. That second free throw rattles out. Peñano gets Marikina to within 6 here. Labayan to the left side. Estacio will rise for the jumper. That's way short. Marikina will elect to execute in the half court. Timaho matched up here against Estacio. Timaho trying to force his way on the left, gives it up to Ubaldo. The handoff to Jetro. Escoto spins away from Labayan. Escoto fading away to the right and finishing with the left.
Kaliwete ka. Alam mong mahirap yung papuntang kanan. Yung
mahirap talaga yun.
Ang hirap nun ah.
And Jetro has really shown a lot of development in terms of his moves to the basket, pati yung mga finishes niya, Coach. Maybe it's also because of the confidence that he has gained with the minutes that has been given to him by this Marikina squad.
Totoo naman. At napakarami na niyang laro na, ang dami ng repetitions na nakapagtaas ng kumpiyansa nito ni Jetro.
Peñano also going to his strong side there and finishing to get Marikina to within a basket. 25-16 ang ating scoring this quarter, Coach. Marikina has taken the advantage here in quarter number 2. De Leon trying to put on the scoring mode here at this point. 21.8 seconds. That's going to be a foul against Marikina. Tingnan natin itong play of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
Well, defense was actually doing the right thing there, forcing a left-handed guy going to the right. But ganda lang talaga ng pagkakatapos na yun ni Jetro.
Baseline throw in here for Rizal. Labayan receives. About a 7-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Maagang titinira ni Istasio. De Leon competes for that rebound with Tiamzon, but Marikina will be awarded possession here, and Coach Jelo Nebres will take this opportunity to map out a play. Again, 13.2 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. We'll be right back. Check out our Gixxer fan of the game, born for greatness. One of our fans here inside the Philoil Center in San Juan City. It's a Friday, TGIF, so if you are in the area, if you are within the vicinity of the Philoil Center, come join us here for our MPBL triple header. Unang laro pa lang natin dito between Marikina and Rizal. Later on, we're gonna have a very intense battle, I'm sure, between Gensan and Batangas in our second game at 6 o'clock p.m. And then San Juan will be defending their home floor against Binyan. That should also be another good one. 12 seconds remaining here in the first half. Marikina with the basketball. Escoto has it. Being guarded by Labayan. Escoto trying to force his way. Drops it off. Peñano will not finish! Ooh, sorry miss by Carl Peñano.
And none more graphic than yung reaction ni Carl Peñano. It was a good feed, a good dime issued by Jetro, but Carl really just miscalculated that shot attempt and missed it.
That could have tied things up, and yet we are going into our halftime break with Rizal still on top, 39-37.
Binalik na si Raymond Binuya. Binuya gets the steal. Igilos is with him, and Shema is blocked! Raven Gonzalez with a denial! Oh my! He caught him up top.
Clean block upstairs. Access denied by Raven Gonzalez o Jemo Egilos.
Cabanag, they speeding up the game now here, Caloocan. The kick out to Kasid. Attacks the closeout. Goes behind the back. A three from Cabanag.
Kung ako, dedepensa ako sa ganyan, talaga mapapagod ako. You saw the way they were passing the ball from one place to another even without looking at each other.
But it was an absolute wizardry.
Oh,
Galing
yeah.
kay Cassie, na? Saan napunta ang bola? Sabi ni Nem de la Cruz. Nandun pala sa corner para kay Jeremy Cabanag.
Kahit ako, mapapatalon ako sa silya ko sa ganun eh.
About it. There's a double team. The steal by Adlawan. Dolan. Look out. Oh! Dolan Adlawan drops the hammer. He's been waiting for that to happen. Dolan Adlawan for our Gixxer. Great move of the game. Born for greatness. The interception and then the throwdown right here.
Perfect anticipation on the passing lane by Dolan Adlawan. I've been waiting to see this also for quite some time already.
Another good setup there for the Risers. You just really just couldn't knock it down, but that one's just pure handles and good finish for Kenny.
Dami niyang dinaanan doon. Roa Curva with a remarkable finish.
Ang mabigat doon, wala nakapigil.
And that was his offhand.
Yes. Right hand finish for a left hand player.
Gonzalez providing the pick. Here's a switch. Ildefonso against Igilos. Dave, shot clock winding down. Ildefonso for 2! What a shot! 23 in the game para kay Dave Ildefonso. And the degree of difficulty on this shot, Javi. Gixer, great move of the game. Born for greatness. Absolutely unreal. Dave Ildefonso.
Jamo Eguilos played the best defense he could on that play. Look at the challenge on the shot, but Ildefonso still able to make it, extending the lead back up to 13 for Abra.
Right now makes it on a layup. 4 points quickly rather para dito kay
Ooh! What a move! Escosio completes it! What a sequence for the Davao Occidental Tigers!
Man down on that move. Wow, and that between the legs by Salubre caught everyone sliding.
He wants an ISO up top. Hubert Cani gets to his spot. My goodness! Hubert Cani delivers here for Bataan.
Oh my goodness. Hubert Cani on a little one-on-one and a step back, elbow side. Looks good, goes in.
Mac Talio. Talio attacks middle. Talio with a dipsy-do! We have a highlight from Mac Talio.
Well, finally, something that his highlight team could work with.
Yan kay Mac Talio, and he's loving it.
The tongue is out as well. Total battle in what kind of shot he would have taken.
Oduba with a reverse! Ang lalim ng dukot ni John Oduba and using some English for the finish right there.
Uduba certainly one of the X factors.
He took off on the other side and finished dun sa kabila.
A lot of credit, a lot of props to the Sheriff David Defonso for making that excellent dish.
Undersized compared to the other bigs, but he pretty much, to your point, looking.
Napakagandang galaw naman yon. Pinakita na naman tayo ni Mitchell Mines.
Mitch Minus never runs out of highlights here in Kamalig. Oh my goodness.
He has turned the Orion Sports Complex his personal playground.
And the Risers are loving this version of Mitch Minus.
Gixer, great move of the game. Born for greatness.
Mitchell Minus. Oh my goodness. Yup and under. What a move.
Paging siya ay natuwa sa kanyang sariling galaw doon.
MPBL All-Star na.
MPBL All-Star na.
MPBL All-Star na.
MPBL All-Star na.
Abangan na inyo mga MPBL Idols ngayong September 6 sa Alonte Sports Arena, Binyan, Laguna. See you there mga kaliga.
Ayun na nga, narinig nyo na sa ating mga All-Star representatives. The All-Star Day of the MPBL this season will happen this Saturday, September 6 at the Alonte Sports Arena in Binyan. Magkita-kita tayo lahat doon mga kaliga. Meanwhile, we do have our first game of our Friday triple header here at the Phil Oil Center in San Juan between neighboring teams Rizal and Marikina. It was a tale of two quarters in that first half, Coach Mike.
Yeah, exactly. And clearly, when you look at the field goal shooting, one might say 48% shooting ng Rizal, okay yan. Pero you gotta look back where that came from. That came from 80% where they missed only 3 attempts. Right now, it's a total of, 15 attempts that they missed. So, not really a good second quarter para dito sa Rizal. But itong Marikina talagang ginamit yun para dumikit itong laban na to. The thing is that Rizal really has gotten more help off the bench, 19 versus 9. And it's only been Rafael Go for Marikina who's provided more support off the bench para dito sa Shoe Masters.
Rizal is being led by Alwin Alday, Eric Pili, Neil Tolentino, Inigo Netura having 4 points off the bench. One might say, Coach, that itong Rizal, they decided to experiment in that second quarter, opting to go with their third stringers. But Marikina, they did take advantage of that. And sabi nga natin, itong Marikina, they only have to worry about what's happening with them compared to what Rizal decides to do.
Agree. And understandably naman yan, sa side ng nila Coach Ralph of Rizal, you want to try and figure out a good combination of players who's going to show up. And they have more games like this that they can actually use para umangat yung ibang performances ng ibang players nila.
And people who have been following the league for the past few seasons know that you need all hands on deck when the playoffs come. So, importante talaga that you have as much players as you can who will have the confidence to actually play hard and play well come the postseason.
Totoo naman yan. Kasi you'll never know when you're gonna need somebody off the roster. Special games. Huwag ka na lumayo. Jason Opiso, put back. I mean, that Jason Opiso shout of Sedelvas really, echoed in every game that you've seen because that was a big moment.
Grabe, no? Last season nung pala yun.
That was a big moment right there.
That was crazy. We've had our fair of big shots, surprising moments, game winners, and that will only continue to increase as the games continue to get tighter, continue to get more intense. At asahan mo na sa pagtatapos ng ating regular season, pagpasok ng ating playoffs, mas titindi pa yan.
Exactly. And yung mga teams, not just offensively to execute a little bit better, but the defense is gonna be tighter come the playoffs because you are meeting teams more than once. And so, tendencies, malamang, mababasa na nila yan.
Although it's been repeated thousands, millions of times, it will never go away that saying defense wins championships.
Agree. But then, on the other end, you still got to make baskets.
Exactly.
That's the important thing.
At the end of the day, that is what basketball is all about.
Yeah.
And that guy knows a lot about making baskets, continuing his scoring splurge here in this game. Once again, opening up scoring festivities this time in the third quarter para sa Rizal.
I'll go post up right here. Good matchup.
Marikina has Ubaldo, Yutok, Timaho, Tiamzon, and Escoto to begin things here in the third quarter.
Pero nakita mo yung respeto nila kay Jetro Escoto on that dribble handoff right there on the right side of the floor. See this move right here. Little in and out. Good head fake before going for that layup. Completely that right side of the floor was free for Alwin Alday to create and finish. And I was talking about yung paano nila binabantayan si Escoto. Look at how Philip is gonna guard him on a two-man action. He's never gone under. He's always tried to stay attached to Escoto. Why? Because he's made threes earlier, and you can't allow the defense to go under, because that's going to be an opportunity for him to make another shot attempt from free.
Yutok, on the other hand, he got 2 quick fouls in that first quarter. He only played 40 seconds the entire first half. Inupo agad siya ni Coach Angelo Nebres. At dito, di na siya nagsayang ng oras. Hitting a 3-point shot. Marikina is down by only a point here.
And tingin ko dapat lang yan para kay Yuto. He's one of the guys that has really showed up in terms of scoring. Matter of fact, he's the second when it comes to scoring para dito sa Marikina, 13.2. Second only to Deo Timaho, who's got 17.
Well, he's another guy who has echoed what Marikina has been over the years, which is a platform for a lot of the unknown players or the players who have not gotten a lot of opportunity to get minutes to actually show out. He's featured here in our 3-point shot of the game, brought to you by Extreme One-Stop Shop Appliances.
And he read that defense well. Katulad nga na-mention na rin ni Coach Christian to in that last game when Diego Dario hit that shot. Hand down, man down. You can't just keep your hand down, especially with a guy that's very capable of making shots from the outside.
Jacob pulls the rebound down after that sorry miss by Cañete.
Oh, wow.
Escoto with the getaway, the kick out to Tamzon. Tamzon puts the ball on the floor and finishes. Marikina is in the lead, 42-41.
That's all on Jethro Escoto. I mean, he already had that drive, but decides, no, got to swing it over to the other side and allow that defense to rotate late. And good finish.
If you're gonna compare Jethro's game to what he is right now, makikita mo, iba na yung attention na binibigay ng depensa sa kanya eh.
Agree. And then dahil na rin yan sa ginawa niyang trabaho, na mapaganda yung kanyang patuloy na paglalaro. And right now, I think they want to challenge this. They don't think that there was a foul on that shot attempt by Neil Tolentino.
This is our assist to the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. Pumping his fist there, Neil Tolentino. But again, just like Coach Mike said, Marikina will be challenging that foul call on that basket by Neil Tolentino. Yellow light in front of Miguel Pere is on. 43-42. Now that basket will give Rizal back the driver's seat. We're going to take a short break here. We'll be right back.
Upon review, the challenge was unsuccessful.
Challenge by Marikina was unsuccessful. So the basket will indeed count and may foul na may itatawag laban sa Marikina.
Oh, that one right there by Ubaldo.
Body contact no, Coach?
Yeah.
Malinis yung sa taas, kaya lang there was contact downstairs. But Tolentino unable to get the bonus to go, which translates to an offensive rebound and put back by Mike Cañete.
Now they stretch the floor. 3/4 of the floor pressure here by Rizal to stop this run by Marikina.
45-42. More than 2 minutes gone by here in the third quarter. Timaho uses the Yutok screen. Balagtas switches on to him. Timaho, that 3-point shot is long. Tiamzon able to tap it to Deo, but Timaho could not handle it. Cañete, sana magbaba dito para sa Rizal. Alday, floater, that familiar shot will not work, but again, an offensive rebound for Rizal, this time courtesy of Marco Balagtas.
Last 2 attempts have gone in for Rizal. Yung percentage nila actually bumababa. Kanina bumababa pa yun sa 43%. Now it's back to 44%. And that definitely is going to be a cause for alarm para dito sa Rizal. You have to remember, these guys just came off a loss against Pasay in a game that everybody felt should have won already in regulation. And you cannot afford to relax right now if you're Rizal. Baka mangyari ulit dyan.
And remember, there is something at stake here. Them trying to make the top 4 in the Southern Division. Although there's still a number of games for them to play, they still cannot afford to lose games like this especially.
Agree. Ako feeling ko ang magic number para makarating ka sa number 2 dito sa South at the very least would be maybe 18 or 19 wins. Rizal right now is at 14. They have 7 more remaining games left. I'd like to think that their first 5 games are very winnable for them. The last 2 being the tough ones in Pangasinan and Nueva Ecija. So if they're 14 now, they go on a 5-game winning streak. Then they'll be 19 by that time, which gives them a good shot at number 2 for the South. In the event that Zamboanga does not fare well in their last 4 games.
Well, Neil Tolentino has been faring well in this game. Another drive to the basket for the former Iloilo United Royal.
And obviously, he's more offensive-minded right now, itong si Neil Tolentino, without relaxing on the defensive end.
He's got 11 points in this game. Second Golden Cooler in double figures, while Carl Peñano going down to work inside once again for Marikina.
Against that zone, the one thing that they've done is really that flash middle guy. And this time happens to be Carl Peñano, and a good Gortat screen right there by Obaldo, allowing Peñano that lane for the finish.
How tough is it to have 2 lefties being that guy flashing in the middle for Marikina?
Tapos papunta
If
pang
you're
kaliwa.
Rizal, yeah.
Papunta pang kaliwa. Bigat.
Ang may bagat dyan, alam mo na nga napupunta sila ng kaliwa eh, pero nagagawa pa rin nila eh.
Yes.
Tolentino, he's had his way inside the paint. Manalang will launch from downtown. That's no good. That ball bounced around. It ends up with Marikina.
That is a shot. I feel that Philip Manalang has definitely got a sink. He had no one right in front of him. He was set up well. He held that corner 3. And you got to make it.
If there's anything that's been questioned in Philip Manalang's game, it has been his outside shot mainly. That's a nice block by Marco Balagtas. Unfortunately for him, a whistle was blown. That's going to be a foul laban sa kanya.
Ang tanong lang naman dito is, i-challenge pa yan ni Coach Ralph?
That's going to be Balagtas's first pa lang naman sa laro na to.
First pa lang.
But it looks like Coach Ralph will indeed challenge that.
I think more than the challenge is really the want to, sustain a good defensive momentum para dito sa Rizal.
I don't see the yellow light on, but our referees are already reviewing it. Let's see what happened here. Here's the drive by Peñano, trying to draw some contact here against Marco Balagtas.
Oh, that was all ball.
Yeah, that looks like it was all ball.
That was all ball.
That's why Balagtas could not believe it when the whistle was blown.
That defense was so good. Peñano initiated the contact, but still a good block by Marco.
We're going to stay on the air here. Referees have just finished the review. I still don't understand why they were able to review it without a challenge.
About review the challenge was
So
successful.
may challenge nga, hindi
Yeah,
lang naka-on yung ilaw. Okay.
Feeling ko nahugot yung plug. And yun, that's the bomb that I was talking about. And he really just stayed with it and went vertical. Met the ball at the apex of the shot.
But the challenge coach was unsuccessful.
Was it?
Successful ba?
Yeah, I think they said successful.
Rizal able to get the stop. Cañete unable to hit on that layup. Yutok pushes forward to Timaho. Escoto for 3. That one's short. Manalang another rebound. Foul naman laban sa Marikina.
That one's definitely a foul on Carl. And the foul earlier was, the challenge earlier was successful. So there was no foul called on Marco.
Kudal comes in here for Marikina. Papalitan muna dito si Carl Peñano. Eric Pili has also checked back into the game. Jana Pasible, papasok na rin para kay Mike Cañete.
And in games like this, when you don't have Eric comes on, this is going to be a test on the guys of Rizal. How do you perform without that big man presence down the middle? Not just in the paint, but even on the perimeter. Leadership pa pag-usapan natin, kasama na rin yan.
You just mentioned the big man, Apasible, just turned it over. Now Marikina has the opportunity to trim this deficit. Escoto needing someone to pass to.
Pasok
Yutok
solo.
with 4 on the shot clock. That's money para kay Jay Yutok.
Definitely a scoring guy itong si Jay Yuto. See how he recovered that ball? Ang baba nung pasa ni Jetro Escoto, pero quick presence of mind to put it on a spot where he can elevate and make a good, decent attempt.
Balagtas from the free throw line. That rattles home para kay Marco Balagtas.
Specialty of the house ni Marco yan. Down the nail. Little inside reverse pivot.
Ubaldo, one fake, puts it up. Nope. Kudal couldn't get to it. Rizal will push. Alday is ahead. Alday, tiningnan pa si Yutok. That's 2 points more para kay Alwin Alday.
I'd like to say that the last 4 possessions, we have seen Rizal basketball back. And it's been missing for quite a while in certain stretches in this game.
Ubaldo trying to make something happen here. They go back to Yutok this time beyond the arc. Jay Yutok for 3.
Jay Utok's really keeping them within reach of Rizal. Tsaka nakikita mo pag nag-release siya talagang alam niyang papasok eh.
Ang ganda rin talaga ng bitaw. This guy has been buckling down to work and he has not settled for that outside shot here in the second half.
One of the toughest, ways to defend is really a guy who's got a handle, change pace, change direction, tapos may intent talagang umiscore. Yun si Alwin Alday.
15 puntos na para kay Alwin Alday. Pero sumagot dito si Deo Timaho. Timaho, meanwhile, with 8 markers in this game. 4-point lead for the Golden Coolers. 2-man game between Balagtas and Manalang. Philip left wide open. That one's long. Ubaldo pulls down another rebound. Marikina does not have any numbers. Yutok goes to the basket anyway. That is an offensive foul against Jay Yutok.
Now really a good move by Jay Yutok. I felt he already had that advantage.
This is our great move of the game. Born for greatness. What a finish with the offhand there para kay Alwin Alday.
4 na depensa yung dinaanan. Iniwan si Kodal with that little in and out before deciding to finish it with the left hand. And this is, pretty much a good momentum para dito kay Alwin Alday. He's got 17 already, right? On a 7 of 9 shooting.
55-51. Balik dito si Keanu Caballero at si Robin Naive para kay Coach Ralph Rivera. Naive drives inside, kicks it out, corner pocket 3. Caballero knocks it down.
Well, similar to what we talked about earlier about Philip Manalang making those corner threes, Caballero equally has to do that, apart from taking good care of the ball.
Timaho gets his defender up in the air, had to adjust the double pump, gets him the foul. He will be awarded 2 shots.
And I think it's clear, in my opinion, based on my observation, as you see this good kick out over to Keanu Caballero, or that 3, he completely got left on that side of the floor. I think it's very clear on the side of Marikina that, the remaining games are really serving us maybe auditions or tryouts for these guys.
We'd like to thank LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL. Timaho 6 the first. And that is why, whoever you're going up against, it is your duty and your calling to play each game to the best of your abilities.
Yes. Mabigat yung mga susunod na natitira nilang kalaban. Nabanggit na kanina ni Mika. Kasama pa dyan was it San Juan, Pasig, Ilagan, Pasay. Boy, that Pasay team though, what a streak it's been for those guys.
7 straight wins for the Pasay Voyagers ever since they acquired Christian Fajarito. Go decides to attack, draws a foul against John Apacible. Lots of fouls being given up by Rizal in this game, albeit some unnecessary ones.
I agree. And that to me is them not being able to stay right in front of the offensive player. There are instances when they get beat.
Check out our special deal from 1xBet when you scan the QR code and claim your special offer. Well, if these Marikina Shoemasters continue to play this type of way, they might just get special offers in the future.
No, definitely. Especially pag tinignan mo yung mga natitirang laban nga nila. If these guys continue to perform really good basketball, maybe they get nods from other teams that might be trying to develop their rosters as well for next season.
Marikina, by virtue of sheer aggressiveness and a lot of unnecessary fouls by Rizal, has been leading the way in terms of free throw attempts in this game. Pili swings it back to Caballero. Keanu fumbled a bit. Naive attacks the middle. Nawala sa kanya yon. There's a push. And that's going to go against Marikina. Penalty na dito ang parehong kupunan. 2 free throws para kay Robby Naive, who has played a lot of games in this very venue.
But this zone has really slowed down yung half-court set nitong Rizal. And, you know, if you're going up against a very good offensive team in Rizal, some coaches would rather have these guys play against the zone defense. You know, we're not going to give you your man offense because we know that's your primary offense, but try and beat us in zone because that's your second best offense.
4 points in the game after that split at the line by Robby Naive. But the misses, they continue to pile up from the free throw line here in this game for Rizal. Rizal, remember, against Pasay, they only shot 14 out of 29 from the charity stripe. But here, Robby Naive taking it strong to the rack. That's another foul against Rizal after Casajeros was able to collar a rebound. And this quarter has stretched longer than it should have because of these fouls. Both teams have been committing a lot in the past few possessions.
Ako, ang mas tingin ko kaya isa sa mga dapat bantayan rin ng Rizal is somehow, I may be wrong, but the body language not really good right now for Rizal. I think they have that preparation put in para dito sa Marikina, but somehow, you know, Marikina's been giving them a good compete here.
There you see the free throw story. 11 out of 16 rather for Marikina, while itong Rizal shooting only 6 out of 11. You just saw earlier the Jensen Warriors prepping for their game later on, right after this, against the Batangas City Tanduay Rum Masters.
And definitely that free throw struggle has got to be arrested here by Rizal. If this continues, this will be the 7th straight game. Well, they shoot at least 55 to 60%. Right now, they're shooting, 54%, making 6 out of the 11 attempts that they made. The last time that they went above 60% was in their win against Imos, where they went 85%, and that close loss against Pampanga, where they shot 71%.
And that was already a few games ago, Coach.
That's right.
Medyo matagal-tagal na rin yun.
That is right. And so, you don't want to have this momentum heading to the playoffs. You want to be better in every aspect of the game, especially if you're Rizal.
And we've seen lots of teams lose some very crucial ball games just because of those misses from the free throw line. As Jomel Landayan wowing us with that pirouette, and the score off the glass, the littlest guy on the floor for Marikina showing off.
And every time there's a guy that puts the ball on the floor and it's a foot race downhill, that's pretty much been the challenge on the defense of Rizal. They can't keep up with the mobility, especially of guards like Jomel Landayan and Jetro Escoto getting in the paint.
Landayan has taken a back seat to Jetro Escoto at that point guard spot recently for Marikina. But in my opinion, he has been, again, another great option off the bench, just like he usually is for Marikina, or just like he usually was in past seasons.
Yeah. And I'd say he's of equal importance to Jetro Escoto para dito sa Shoe Masters. The foul right there.
Marikina has tied things up at 60 apiece. Let's take a look at that last play. Look at Jeric Serrano just ram into
right through the chest.
Smaller Jomel Landayan. Here Landayan trying to split the defense. Naive picks it up. Caballero with a running start. Caballero out to Pili. Eric puts the ball on the floor. The pass inside Apacible. Missing point blank, but there's a foul. Laban kay Enrile.
You like that movement though by Rizal in that last possession. Everybody just trying to get paint touches. Caballero swung it the other way, got it to Eric Pili. Eric saw a close out, drove middle, and saw a curl under by Apasible, fed it to him. And you love that movement. But again, every play's got to end with a basket. And the free throws, again, another miss.
Si Coach Ralph Rivera napapailing na lang, tumitingin siya kay Coach Christian Coronel. Coach, paano ba natin naayusin to?
Ang galing pa naman sa free throw ni Coach Ralph dati. Oh, wow!
Oh, pati si Coach Christian.
Oh, man.
Matitinding mga scorer yan dati.
Oo naman.
0 out of 2 for John Apasible. This is gonna be a very long free throw shooting session in store, at least in the coming weeks for Rizal. If not next practice, I'm pretty sure mangyayari yan. But Pili gets the steal here. Dito naman talaga bumabawi ang Rizal with their defense, which they convert into baskets like that.
And that is very important. I mean, if you can't get anything on the line, got to get something from the field.
That concludes our third quarter of play. Let's take a look at our highlights of the game, brought to you by SIP Plus, the official hydration partner of the MPBL. Elevate your hydration. Neil Tolentino has continued to elevate his game in this matchup, while Jay Yuto coming off the bench after those 2 quick fouls in the first quarter, scoring 8 points dito sa ating period. Alvin Alday is just that sterling force for the Rizal Golden Coolers as they continue to hold this 2-point advantage heading into the fourth quarter. Babalik ang inyong liga ng bawat Pilipino dito sa PhilOil Center in San Juan. Check out our LGR fan outfits of the game. Brought to you by LGR Sportswear. Abby Palanya on the call, joined by Coach Mike Perez. Let's go courtside to Miss Mika Abisamis.
Eric Pili will forever be grateful to Coach Elvis Tolentino and the rest of the Marikina camp for the opportunity given to him. He will never forget the lessons, relationships established, possessions he made great use of, games when he had to carry the team, one of which against Bataan in our historic first game in Abra. As we mentioned, kwento nga ni Casajeros, grabe si Eric nun, wala daw hiya. Pati baliktad na tira pumapasok. These two shared a lot of after-practice meals together around the Marikina Sports Center. Halos lahat daw ng karinderya sa may palengke, nakainan na nila. But really, Eric knows he has yet to prove himself here in Rizal. But as he is already on the other side of the fence, he can't help but think about the journey to where he is now. Have you, Coach Mike?
Maraming salamat. Beautifully said there, Mika. You know, Eric Pili, I do agree with that statement though as we look at the quarter scoring on your screens. Rizal and Marikina fighting to that 23-year-old deadlock in that third quarter. I do agree with that statement said by Mika na sinabi ni Casajeros. Walang hiya talaga yan si Eric. Dahil ako, I had the opportunity to become his teammate. Wala akong halos nahawakan na bola.
Kumpiyansa lang.
Kumpiyansa lang talaga. I mean that in a good way, the best way possible. This is our fast break of the game, brought to you by Extreme X Play on the Go speaker. Take your music anywhere. No, honestly, Eric has really been a very talented scorer, a lefty that has become a multifaceted shooter. And I'm very happy to be seeing him ply his trade here in the MPBL as we see Robin Naive do his own thing there for Rizal.
I'm actually one of the guys that's happy to see the start of the season, Eric Pili going over to Rizal, because I strongly feel that it's going to elevate his game all the more with these talents that they have here on their roster. Not a good play right there for Rizal. You were on a 3-on-2 break with your best guys that side of the floor, and you muff it.
Maybe a little bit too unselfish for Cano Caballero. He was already wide open on that left side. Marikina gets another steal here.
Oh, man.
That's going to be another foul given up by Rizal. That's going to be the third personal laban kay Caballero. Apasible will come out in favor of Marco Balagtas. Hasn't really been that nice of a game para kay John Apasible this afternoon.
He's been in and out actually. He couldn't catch a good rhythm. I feel isa na yan sa mga maybe impact ng platoon substitutions.
That
You know,
might be one factor, yes.
Yeah, that's one thing because guys can't have a continued sweat and momentum. Oh, Yutok once again. Oh my goodness.
Well, this guy just literally came off the bench. He was subbed out along the end point of our third quarter. And just as we begin the fourth period, able to knock down that three-point shot. He's now in double figures. But Robbie Naive gets that back with 3 points of his own.
Well, definitely, Robbie Naive has got to get involved, not just on the offensive end, but even on the defensive side of the floor. You know how much of a good partnership he has with Tolentino defensively.
These Rizal Golden Coolers, they have a lot of defensive linchpins among them.
Agree.
You mentioned Robbie Naive and Neil Tolentino. Samboy De Leon
Yes.
could also play very well on that end of the floor.
Yes.
So can Eric Pili. As we see Jay Yutok knock it down from that left corner pocket.
And he's got 11 points, and all those points have really come from the field. Pero ito, binawian rin ni Robbie Naive just in time to try and bring a little bit back the momentum dito sa Rizal, especially after that missed opportunity on the fast break. I don't think that was a good scene and a good sight that the Coach Ralph would want to see again.
Caballero trying to go back to Robbie, instead goes to De Leon. Cañete will not muff this one underneath.
Holding that dunker spot against the zone, paid dividends for Mike Cañete.
72-65 is the count. Escoto has been relatively silent here in the second half. Yutok swings it to the right side. Timaho wants a roadblock. Ubaldo offers it.
Good defense.
Timaho still has it. 6 on the shot clock. Cross court they go. Escoto catch and fire. Wala. Cañete forward to Samboy De Leon.
They got numbers.
Naive sets his feet. That one is money in the bank for Robbie Naive.
And when we said that Robbie Naive's got to get involved offensively, we mean in that way. Without Alvin Aldayo on the floor, somebody's got to take the lead. And Samboy recognizing that corner three held by Robbie Naive. Nakashoot ka kanina, eto pa isa. And Robbie Naive says, I got this. Another three for Robbie Naive.
They went to the hot hand, and that hot hand was Robbie Naive. This is now a 10-point lead for the Golden Coolers. Their first double-digit advantage in a while against Marikina. Check out our special deal from 1xBet when you scan the QR code and claim your special offer. Mike Cañete, Eric Camson, and Robin Naive, these three guys were solid against Pasay, but very crucial nga yung naging mintis na mga free throw ni Eric Camson during those overtime periods. And also, curiously, Cañete already had 17 points. Kakaumpisa pa lang ata ng fourth quarter, if I remember right, but he was never subbed in back. Ito si Robbie Naive continuing his strong performance in this game. He has 13 sa laro na to, including a flurry of 3-point shots.
Well, that was really good contribution for those guys that you mentioned, Mike Cañete, Eric Camson, and Naive in that game. I think the only knock to that trio really was the field goal shooting. Well, we talked already about the free throws missed, but Eric Camson only coming up with 31% shooting in that game. I'd like to think most of the shots that he took were in the latter part of the game where I felt may pagod ng kasama no? Kasi trinabaho rin niya talaga yung loob ng paint.
This free throw of the game is brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. 0 out of 2 for Ubaldo on that trip to the line.
You gotta skip it. There you go.
Naive, heat check, still hot.
That's what I was saying. You gotta skip it. You got that ball on the nail. You see that guy who's made a couple of threes already. You gotta give it back to him.
Rizal has outscored Marikina in this fourth quarter, 16-5. Escoto needs a teammate. Yutok is there. Caballero on him. Ubaldo attacks, drops it off. Peñano was stopped on top. but De Leon will be called for that personal foul.
We'll see this pass right here. Entry through the nail. Mike recognizes Robbie Naive again for that three in the corner. This is a different shot attempt. Baka akala nyo kapareho nung kanina, but it's pretty much the same area where Robbie hit a three earlier.
And Naive has already hit a number of three-point shots in this game. 5 three-pointers in this game for Robbie Naive. Pignano back at the free throw line. Second free throw is good.
Tsaka ang gusto mo dyan, dito kay Naive, is his last 3 shots, he's 3 out of 3.
All good looks.
Yes.
Credit to guys like Caballero and Samboy De Leon for really setting him up in good spots. Caballero passes it this time to Cañete.
There you go.
It's so tough to stop Mike Cañete when he has that ball already up. Kasi laki ng kamay kaya nabibit-bit niya eh.
Totoo yan. At saka ang ganda na rin ng ikot ng mga tao against that zone. And they pretty much, in my opinion, have figured it out. And defensively, so far what they're doing is they're really trying to shut down that left side of the floor where there have been numerous dribble penetrations by Marikina. And right now, with that door shot, it's off to the races. Robbie again, same spot.
Different result this time, but they get the offensive rebound. Recycle here for Rizal. De Leon, one of the rare times in this game that he has looked for his shot. Finishing with the reverse. Samboy De Leon, the All-Star featured here in our play of the game, brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
The finish of De Leon gave them those 2 points. Pero ang ganda ng assist ni Keanu Caballero. It was a look-away pass. He was intentionally misdirecting everyone that it was going to be going back to Robbie Naive, but no. He gave it up to Samboy underneath.
This is now the biggest lead of the game for the Golden Coolers, 83-67. Approaching the halfway point of quarter number 4. Landayan into the paint. That is a walk against Jome Landayan. One of the calls that I think maybe that's the most consistent call our referees have made throughout the season.
Yes, pretty much.
Tingnan ulit natin yan.
Yeah, same foot.
Can't land on the same foot. You can hop, but you have to land on the other foot. Meanwhile, offensive foul lang may tatawag dito laban sa Rizal. Cañete picking up his second personal. 83-67. Marikina has mainly struggled here in the fourth quarter. And there is still time para sa kanila. Take a look at the turnover story. That's a big margin of difference, 18-11. And Rizal certainly took advantage of that.
And this is really, at this point in the game, Rizal being Rizal, because they are third in second chance points with almost 15 per game. Right now, how many points do they have of second chance opportunities? They got 15.
Well, Dai missing a circus shot on the other side. Landayan could not take advantage. Rizal will push it again. De Leon couldn't get it to Alday. Pass picked up by Tamjon. And Caballero will give up the foul. Rizal's already in the penalty.
That pass was a little bit late, in my opinion, from Samboy De Leon. And si Alwin Alday has held on to that corner 3 quite longer than he should. Should have advanced it to him and let him make that decision.
May oras pa dito ang Marikina para humabol, but they've got to make their move right here, right now.
Oh, yes. And the thing is, they've only scored, what? This is their 8th point, right?
Yeah, Rizal has already scored 21 here in the fourth. If we talk about the free throws, coach, not only has it been a factor for Rizal, but also for Marikina. Once again, all-star starter for the South, Kyle Tolentino, and the Gensan Warriors will be facing the Batangas City Tanduay Rum Masters in a battle of 2 teams that are seated beside each other in the South Division team standings. De Leon missing on the point-blank shot.
Another good look for Keanu Caballero, pero hindi na itapos yun ni Samboy De Leon.
You imagine how many assists Keanu would have had in this game.
I say he would have had 3 more than what he has now.
Landayan open from the corner. He drains it. 83-72. This is far from over.
And now, if you're Rizal, you do understand that you've already got Marikina's backs to the wall. And you got to continue performing.
Balagtas
There you go.
bails them out with another free throw line jumper. 85-72.
One of the deadliest guys from 15 feet in.
Ito yung mga tipong ng player na pagpupuntahan mo sa fourth quarter, alam mo sure ball eh.
Yes.
Yan yung mga nakakatakot kalaro sa pustahan.
At saka mataas yung IQ. Yun ang importante doon. Kasi hindi siya basta tumitira eh. Naintindihan niya yung sitwasyon. Right there, it was a catch and shoot on the elbow that he just, on the spot that he just loves.
Caballero will be given a breather here. Balik ulit dito si Philip Manalang para sa Rizal. Same with RR Casajeros for Marikina. Under 3 minutes to play in this game. Marikina back with that zone. Cañete will rise. Jumper no good. Nice pass. Landayan able to score.
That's more like how Landayan really plays. No? A lot of pace. Good change of direction then. At that time, isang diretsong mabilis lang yun para dito kay Jomel Landayan.
And coach, the execution of the lead pass, that is an art. Reto Rescoto making that great find. Manalang
Yeah, there you
though,
go.
knocking down a crucial jumper for Rizal.
Yan ang importante for Philip. There will be instances, lalo na in the playoffs, they will leave Philip Manalang in open spots in the perimeter, daring him to make those attempts.
And most of the time, misses by Philip from that range, especially when he's wide open. It seems to be more mental than physical.
Oh, kasi maganda rin naman yung release niya. Good read though by Philip.
Rizal doing what it does best, but they leave Carl Peñano on the other side. 89-76. Does Marikina still have one final run in them? Obviously, Rizal will try to take as much clock as possible in this possession.
I don't think Rizal is gonna miss out on this one. They've learned a lot from that Pasay game.
Imagine to lose in 2 overtimes on your home floor. That was certainly a very
yes.
heartbreaking defeat para sa kanila.
Yes.
Landayan on the right side. Landayan gives it up. Escoto for 3. Good line, but too strong. Rizal will get back the possession. Balik dito si Jacob Ubaldo para sa Marikina. This is our fast break of the game brought to you by Extreme Cool Air Conditioners and Extreme Magpalamig. Free installation for split type air conditioners.
They're really just giving it up to the least guarded guy in open floor. That happens to be Samboy.
Muli makikita nyo si Samboy De Leon on Saturday along with our other All-Stars and the other participants sa ating mga side events sa ating 2025 MPBL All-Star Day at the Alontes Sports Arena.
Well, that's the second time that a pass by Samboy De Leon gets deflected. And so you got to be careful in spraying out those passes if you're Samboy, especially if you want to make a run in the playoffs. It's going to take this.
Masyado malakas ang tira doon ni Alwin Alday. Under a minute to play here in this game between Marikina and Rizal. Only the first game of our Friday triple header here at the Phil Oil Center. Ubaldo sees Landayan. What a second half John Landayan has been having.
But you did see how they loaded up on that left side of the floor as Escoto was going there. And they didn't want him to be creating from that spot of the floor.
So whatever happens here with 27 seconds just remaining in this game, Marikina still gave a gallant stand.
Yes, pretty much. I mean, to be challenging itong Rizal, they gave them a tough time in the second quarter, allowing them only 16 points. But then again, you know, things really just started waking up the Rizal Golden Coolers, and enough to push it to this margin in this game.
These two teams na halos ilang kilometro lang ang layo sa isa't isa. They end their game here with Rizal coming out on top 92 to 78. The Golden Coolers turning to defense and outside shooting, especially in the second half, to dispose of the Marikina Shoemasters.
Well, it really boiled down to the late game execution of Rizal being better and none more efficient than the guy that you just saw. He was 5 out of 10 from 3, and that pretty much was all they needed to get this win off para sa Rizal.
This guy, Coach, he picked up 2 quick fouls upon his entry into the game. Coach Ralph Rivera left him inside and he delivered. Robbie Naive is our best player of the game, brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Few more game with 1xBet.
And might I say, Javi, also to add to that, there was a portion in the second quarter where they were saying, oh, we gotta defend, but Robbie Naive was just shrugging it off and telling them, we're fine, you gotta keep steady. And I feel that really is just the competitor in Robbie Naive that we've seen tonight para dito sa Rizal.
Once again, our final score, 92 to 78. Let's go courtside to Ms. Mika Besamis.
Maraming salamat, kasama ko ngayon the man in charge of the fourth quarter, Robbie Naive, 12 points, 4 doon, 3. Kumusta ka?
Okay lang since ginagawa lang din namin yung game plan namin against Marikina. Credits din sa coaches namin since nag-design sila ng magandang game plan for this game.
At yung game plan nga na yun ang nakatulong para makalayo na talaga kayo sa kanila nung second half. Pero alam mo, napag-usapan namin ni Coach Ralph, ang goal niya talaga towards the end of the regular season, mag-number 2 kayo. Doon sa performance nyo ngayong araw, Robbie, sa tingin mo ano pa yung mga kailangan ma-improve para makarating doon?
First off, siguro defense talaga namin. Kailangan mas maging matibay yung defense namin, especially coming sa mga big games namin para ma-prepare din kami for the playoffs. For me, yun yung pinaka-key na magpapapanalo sa amin, makakatulong for playoffs.
Maraming salamat. Meron ka mga gustong batiin at pasalamatan?
Gusto kong batiin si Governor Nini Inares, Governor Ito Inares, Mayor Junjun Inares, also sa mga bosses namin, Sir Jaime Lim, Boss Joel Conde, Sir Alex and Sir Andre Cruz, Centro Mall, Golden Coolers, Dreamwave, Powerhouse Clothing, Anytime Fitness, and Kuisa.
Maraming salamat. Once again, Robbie Naive, this best player of the game is brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. Javi and Coach Mike.
Maraming salamat, Mika. Congratulations again to Robbie Naive and the Rizal Golden Coolers for picking up their 15th win of the season. Up next, we have the battle of the two teams that are rivaled in the South, and the Gensan Warriors and the Batangas City Tanduay Rum Masters. Hold on to your seats, ladies and gentlemen. The MPBL will be right back.